Hi, and welcome to Healthy Living. I am here with my friend Kelly Presnell, Director of PR and Marketing here at Hilton Head Hospital. We have a great show today.
Yes, we do. We're going to talk about volunteer services. The director, Jody McLeod, is going to be here, along with the second half will be Gottdenker to talk about the auxiliary and all that they do. You know, we have three entities for people to come and volunteer, and Hilton Head Hospital, Coastal Carolina Hospital, and the Gottdenker Outpatient Center. And if you have a desire to give, this is a great place to do it, to help comfort somebody who's in need, their family who's in need. So Jody's going to give a little bit of an overview of the things that they do here at the hospital.
That sounds great. Yeah. We're going to take a break and come right back and chat with them.
Excuse me.
Hi, can I get through, please?
Dr. Newman.
You know, there has to be a better way. A way to skip the ER waiting room. Like this lady over here. All she did was log on to inquicker.com to hold her son's place in line. Now they can wait at home and skip the ER waiting room. Now, which would you choose? This or this? Hold your place online at inquicker.com and skip the ER waiting room. Ooh, is that hot cocoa? Oh, help yourself.
We went to the emergency room, and thank heavens we did.
They discovered that I had 2 totally blocked arteries, and I ended up having double bypass open heart surgery. Well, I stayed in the hospital for just a few nights.
To the staff at Hilton Head Hospital, I would express the deepest gratitude that I possess. They literally, quite literally, saved my wife's life.
We are back with Jody McLeod, and you run the volunteer services at both Hilton Head Hospital and Coastal Carolina. It is so great to see you. I was just telling Kelly that the three of us kind of go way back. How long have you actually been Director of Volunteer Services?
I just finished 15 years.
Is it really 15 years?
Yes.
Talk to me about the evolution of the volunteer services from when you began to where you are now.
Well, volunteer services were in place at Hilton Head Hospital long before I came. I mean, truly, our auxiliary president will happily share that good information, but I, when I began, was pretty limited to the program at Hilton Head Hospital.
Okay.
We have since added the Gottdenker Center.
Oh, wow.
And in the last few years also added Coastal Carolina. So my reach has expanded for sure.
Let me ask you just a basic question. When I hear about volunteer services, you know, one image comes to mind, and that is someone at the front desk with a pink uniform on. Can you talk to me about some of the things that you all do, who your volunteers are, what they're responsible for?
Absolutely. Happy to do that. We have volunteers in about 20 different departments.
Oh, do you really?
I have about 250 volunteers total at the 3 facilities, and they do everything from, as you say, serving at the information desk or welcoming at patient reception, patient registration areas. So we have meeters and greeters and let me help get you where you need to be. That sort of cluster of folks. We have the volunteers who serve on the inpatient units.
And what are their responsibilities?
Oh, they're visitors,
okay,
primarily. They're also sort of meal service helpers. Let me pour you a second cup of coffee. May I butter your toast for you, open the milk carton for you, that kind of thing. Our volunteers don't feed patients just because of risk factors, but
they're ambassadors.
They're like moms.
Yeah.
They're like non-medical helpers.
Okay.
They help get the patients out of the hospital at the time of discharge.
Okay.
They run errands to the lab and to medical records. So that's another separate group of volunteers. We also have folks in surgical waiting room.
Do you really? Okay.
Serve as a liaison to the family member or companion who's waiting for their loved one in the surgical suite. We have volunteers in our outpatient services areas, radiology, outpatient surgery,
wow,
gastroenterology, emergency department, kind of a night, and gift shop, kind of, then we go to the non-medical gift shop volunteers who really help the auxiliary raise some funds and provide some cute and necessary items You know, sometimes I want to have it, sometimes I need to have it.
Well, that's true.
In our gift shop. So we're a service. All around we're a service. And to me, Debbie, the most important thing about volunteering, you are here to serve someone else today.
Okay.
Someone who is here because they're ill, or a loved one is ill, or maybe it's just some routine test. But let me, the volunteer,
Yes, guide you,
get you
help
there.
you.
Absolutely.
Who is your perfect volunteer? What are you looking for when you're looking for a volunteer, and what kind of criteria can I expect?
We have skill sets that we look for volunteers to do.
Kind
the-
and
but the-
caring,
but-
kind and caring.
Right. Kind and caring is definitely the most important thing. You know, the mechanics of wheelchair safety, how to find that second cup of coffee, hand hygiene, those are all very teachable
Oh,
issues.
yes. Happy
But
birthday.
you're right. Kind and caring, able to understand that you might be the best part of somebody's whole day. You, Mary, volunteer, or
Okay.
Bill, got a good number of fellows too. Probably a quarter of my ratio of volunteers are
Our
males.
guys. Oh,
yes.
that's great.
But honest to gosh, if you can understand when you're here as a volunteer that it's not about you,
Okay.
it's about serving someone else's needs. It's about being kind, even when a frustrated family
Right.
member might not be so kind to us. Can
Well,
we-
they're scared. They're
course they're
apprehensive.
scared.
Yeah.
Of course they're scared. They're sleep deprived. They're worried. They're in pain. So can we see beyond that? Be efficient and be nice and get it done.
What is, if I'm a working woman,
Yes.
do you have volunteers Monday through Sunday? How does that work? Can I make my own schedule? And that's kind of going back to your role.
Yes.
What is your role in all of this?
Keeping them straight.
Yeah, keep it amazing.
Yes, I do lots of scheduling and training
Okay.
and orientation in the interview process, etc. Because my job is to find the best fit for you.
Okay.
And then help you be happy in your role. And if you're happy, I'm good.
And the patients are going to be great too.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're a working woman, yes, I have opportunities for you.
Okay.
Nights, weekends. I will be honest and say not as broad a
Broad,
base
okay.
as of opportunities as during the week. But absolutely, we have folks who work. We have full-time volunteers. In other words, they come weekly. We have folks who come alternating weeks.
Okay.
We have folks who serve as substitutes.
Can you cross-train in different areas? Can you request, gosh, I've always wanted to kind of be in a surgical outpatient unit, and that's someplace I'm interested in?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. In fact, cross-training is a good thing.
Is it good?
Sure.
This is maybe a silly question, but help me with this. Volunteer services, is the auxiliary under volunteer services? You are all part and parcel the same? How does all that work? Because I know Dottie's going to talk to us in the next segment.
Right. We're peers. The auxiliary really got the ball rolling back in
Okay.
the earliest days of Hilton Head Hospital. Now it's expanded its reach as the hospital has grown.
Okay.
They began the volunteer program here, and in fact, for a while, they were in charge of the volunteers.
Okay.
Time has passed, the program has grown, regulations have come along.
All right.
We have I's to dot and T's to cross, and that's kind of my job.
Okay.
The auxiliary takes care of other wellness things in the community,
Yeah,
not
okay.
not just the pink ladies and the men in maroon. So we work together, we talk every day, and we work in conjunction to make sure that wellness needs in the hospital are focused on, which is really most of my focus. Auxiliary tends to hospital volunteers as well as other outreach.
In today's world, where are your challenges? What things, I know you've got 3 places to staff. How are you doing with that? Or what presents some special challenges?
I think sometimes the challenge is people coming and going.
Okay. That makes sense.
I'm kind of used to it. You know, we have the snowbirds here right now for the winter, They're about to go.
Okay.
Then we have the folks who go for 2 or 3 or 4 months in the summer. But that's okay because we get some students who come in. Summer months are best for the students, college students and high school students.
Do they come under a separate program?
No,
Okay. You.
they get me.
So high school students can volunteer also?
Yes, yes. And we used to bring them in during the school year, but it really didn't work terribly
Right,
well.
well, absolutely.
So summer is really the prime time for students who are thinking about a career in healthcare. Let's give it a shot. Let me
I
see
didn't
what it's
realize
like.
that.
Yeah, so that's always a wonderful. We probably bring in 12, 15 students every summer. I get application packets to all the local schools
I
just
did
after
not
Heritage
realize
break.
that.
So
Okay.
if you're a high school student, I'm going to give my plug here, and
This is
wish
great.
to look into volunteering this summer, get to your guidance department right after the April break when the hospital has its Heritage, or when the town of Hilton Head has its Heritage.
Now, do
Golf
they do the
Tournament.
same things that everyone else gets to do, or do you try to specify places that they can go that they might?
They can go anywhere except.
Okay.
We have 3 restricted areas where students need to be at least 18,
Okay.
and that's really because of risk, liability.
That makes sense.
Like high school students don't go to the emergency room
Okay.
until they're 18.
Okay.
You know, that's just a little. Our women's center, the obstetrics, labor, and delivery, they really want
That makes
students to be
sense.
at least 18.
Okay.
So
Now, what about Spanish? Does it help if you speak a foreign language or speak Spanish specifically?
it's a great add-on. It's not necessary. In the early days of this hospital, there actually was a volunteer list of anybody in town who spoke any foreign language.
Oh, that's cool.
Norwegian. I mean, we had a volunteer who said, put me on the Norwegian speaking substitute list.
Okay.
Yes, folks who speak Spanish.
Okay.
Now, all of our facilities pretty much have people on site who are Spanish
Okay.
speakers. So if you're a volunteer, great.
It's not necessarily a.
It's not necessary. It might enhance somebody's conversation with you while they're here as a patient, but it's not necessary to provide that medical information.
It feels so good to talk with you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Healthy Living. We're going to talk to Miss Dottie about the auxiliary, so stay with us.
Excuse me. Hi, can I get through, please?
Dr. Newman.
You know, there has to be a better way. A way to skip the ER waiting room. Like this lady over here. All she did was log on to inquicker.com to hold her son's place in line. Now they can wait at home and skip the ER waiting room. Now, which would you choose? This
Dr. Joyner.
or this? Hold your place online at inquicker.com and skip the ER waiting room. Ooh, is that hot cocoa? Oh, help yourself.
Hilton Head Regional Medical Center is located at 25 Hospital Center Boulevard. When traveling east on William Hilton Parkway, make a left-hand turn on Beach City Road, and the next left, Hospital Center Boulevard will be located just past the Hilton Head Library.
Coastal Carolina Hospital is located on US 278 at Exit 8 on I-95. Telephone is 843-784-8000. On the web, www.coastalhospital.com.
The vision for Hilton Head Spine Center is very clear. It's to provide world-class spine care to our patients.
Physical therapists were there. They were there holding you up. It's nice.
I just love working with all of these patients and their families and getting to know them and helping them on their journey.
My life is definitely better, and I'm glad that I came here to Hilton Head Hospital.
Back with Dottie, who I've known forever and a day, and we talk about this all the time. The auxiliary is an amazing place. You are an amazing woman. Tell us what is going on with the auxiliary, your role, as though we don't know, and what's new.
What's new with the auxiliary? Well, we're doing the same old thing, helping the patients and the community with scholarships. with medicines. We have the Auxiliary Caring Touch program, which is basically our signature program that helps people who are discharged from the hospital who need help with their medicines, their prescription medicines, and we supply that.
You know, it's always interesting to me, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's interesting to me when people think of the auxiliary, they simply think of the volunteer part of it, but really that's just a wee bit of what you all do. Let's go back again, and can you kind of elaborate on each of those things? You started talking about the Caring Touch.
Right. That we started back in 1994, 1995, and it's still going very strong. We help many patients every month with their medications when they're discharged. We also help them with any durable medical goods that they may need. That means oxygen or a wheelchair or a hospital bed.
How does that work? What happens? How does it all come to fruition?
Well, the care manager, when they're getting ready to discharge someone from the hospital, the care manager goes over their requirements, what they're going to need at home to aid in their recovery, or what meds they're going to need. And if they fall between the cracks, if they don't have insurance or sufficient funds to pay for these things, they fill out a form, come to us, and we supply all of that.
The case manager actually does that for you?
For us, and then they send it to us.
Okay.
And we okay it, and we get them they go and they get the prescription medications, and we pay for it.
How do you all earn your money?
Basically, we have the gift shops.
Okay.
We have the gift shop here at Hilton Head that basically funds the Auxiliary Caring Touch program, and we also, since February of 2010, we are now running the Coastal Carolina gift shop.
It's adorable. Every time I'm over there.
Yeah, I know. I love that little shop.
I do too. You guys have great. Now, do you all do the buying for that?
Yes, I do the buying too. Right now, I'm managing the 2 shops and president of the auxiliary. So I keep them
You're
pretty
so
busy.
funny. I love it. I mean, ever since I've known you, it's like, nope, I'm going to turn it over to someone else. But you're so good at it. The things that you have, if you've not been to the gift shop at either Coastal Carolina or over here, you don't have to be in the hospital to shop there, because there's great stuff. You go to Market, don't you? Yeah, I saw you at Market.
Oh, yeah, sure. I remember
Yeah,
the
we
time I
did,
saw you
yeah.
at Market. Yeah, I basically go to Atlanta. I've been to New York, too, to do shopping for the shop. And then I see vendors that come here to the hospital.
What kinds of things do people need or want? I guess, actually, we were talking to Jody. She said, yes, the gift shop is there. There are things there that patients may need and things there that folks may want.
Well, we have flowers. We have flowers in our case all the time, and people can call up from outside. We get calls from all over the country saying, I'd like to send some flowers up.
Oh, I never
to
even
a
thought
patient.
about that.
Yep.
Okay, that's a good way of doing
our
that.
flowers are very reasonable, $15, $20, and $25. No tax and no delivery charge. So, and we get them up there immediately with a nice little card.
Okay.
In both locations. So.
Specific.
that.
What are some of the other things that you all have there?
Well, we have candies and snacks and sundries.
Okay.
Our biggest customer, believe it or not, is the staff here in the hospital. If they need a baby gift.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. The gifts
Or if
here.
they need a birthday gift, or maybe even their fellow worker, we have it available for
You
them.
always have really cool containers or pottery or things like
Right.
that are really nice.
You know what's really big now, though, is jewelry. You know, especially these
Oh, the little fun
fun
earrings.
earrings. Yeah, jewelry and scarves.
Okay.
And purses. We do a big job with that kind of stuff lately. It's really been. I think the trend in hospital gift shops is going towards that now for the last couple of seasons and the couple of seasons to come.
Is there a price point that you guys try to stay in between? Or?
Yeah, well, we have everything from a little gift from maybe $3 on up to maybe $70.
So there's really something for
Right.
everyone. How often do your volunteers work typically, not just for the gift shop, but how often do you try to have them work? Do you like volunteers to work once a week? Do you like them to work more than that?
Well, we have in the gift shop, basically they work, and around the hospital.
Okay.
We do sponsor the volunteer program to the hospital. We support that program.
Okay, so what does that mean?
That means that we support the volunteer program ever since the program began back in 1974, and we work very closely with Jody, who makes sure that the volunteers are working with hospital policies and procedures.
Now, do most of your volunteers know each other? Do you do any kind of collaborative events so that folks
Well,
meet each other?
a lot of them work on our fundraising projects, even though they're working here, in the volunteer, in the departments around the hospital as a volunteer. They help on our volunteer, on our fundraising programs.
What are some of the other fundraising things that you do?
Well, we have bake sales.
Yeah, I want to know about those.
In November, along with our hospital, the gift shop hospital boutique that we have here for 3 days and 2 days down at Coastal, we have a bake sale. And all of the volunteers and the staff bake things and bring it in.
The staff keeps that quiet because they probably do all the buying of that.
Right. They really come in and buy a lot of the cookies and cakes and stuff. Right, yeah.
So you've got the bake sale, you've got the
boutique, the gift shop. We have a big golf tournament every December, and we have Lou Wessel, who is a big golfer. He's been running that for the last 6 years, and that's probably the third or fourth biggest golf tournament on the island.
Is it really? You know, the other thing I'd like to ask you about really are the scholarships, because I know you do quite a bit with that also.
We do scholarships with Technical College of the Low Country for students going into the healthcare field, and we just approved, we're going to start doing some scholarships with University of South Carolina here in Bluffton.
Oh,
that
you
was
really?
Just approved. So.
It's fun to listen to the hospital talking here, isn't it? I love scholarships.
Also, the scholarships, basically Lou's golf tournament, the invitational golf tournament, sponsors the scholarships. Makes enough money to sponsor over $20,000 worth of scholarships.
Who gets those scholarships and how do they apply for them?
Well, the school, Technical of the Low Country, has students that apply for them, and then we have a scholarship chairman on our board.
All right.
And she goes to the meetings and helps pick who's going to do what, who's going to get books, money for books, money for tuition. So that they work it that way.
How many people are actually in the auxiliary and then on your board?
We have 15 members on our board. And in the auxiliary, we have probably on our roster about 350, 360 people. Most of them are in-service volunteers, but then we have a lot of the retired people who have retired already from the volunteer program, but they want to stay active with the auxiliary. And then we have people who just work on our fundraisers.
I had asked Jody, as far as a volunteer, who are you looking for to be participants or members of the auxiliary?
Well, Jody really, handles that. She interviews them and puts them through orientation. And then if they're going into the gift shop, she hands them over to me, and they work.
There you go.
There you go. But we're looking for people who have the time and want to help other people, basically.
I would think the gift shop would be a fun place to work.
Yes, it is.
Is it? How often do you go to market? How often do you change your inventory? So if people want to come shopping, they can...
Basically, I go to market to the 2 major shows in January and in July.
Okay.
And I just did the apparel mart.
That
was very interesting. I brought back a lot of scarves and a lot of great purses and jewelry from that. That was at the end of January.
Take a hint, we're getting sort of the update and the secrets. Got all the new stuff in yet? What are the trends now?
Big bags, big handbags, big handbags that you can put a lot of things in.
A lot of good stuff in. It is
Right.
such a treat to talk with you every single time.
I want to tell you about one thing that we're having coming up.
Yes.
Our next big event is the Dr. Alligator Golf Tournament.
Okay.
Now, this is going to be our 37th golf tournament, and we do this in conjunction with the, in partnership, basically, with the Low Country Women's
Association.
Golf Association.
Oh, that's great.
And that's going to be held at Moss Creek on May 11th.
Oh, that's perfect. We'll probably talk about that again on maybe another show, too.
Right, good.
Dottie,
That'd be
thank
great.
you for joining us. We want to thank you all for joining us here on Healthy Living. Have a great day.